All right, so for the last few parts of this series, we've basically been playing detective, right? Hunting down all those invisible culprits of radio frequency interference. But today is the really satisfying part. We're moving from diagnosis to the actual cure. And just so we're all on the same page, this is part 9 of our 10-part tutorial. We're breaking down a fantastic report on RFI in office buildings. We've been building a complete toolkit, and today we're adding the most important tools of all, the ones for mitigation and prevention. And remember, all this great info comes straight from the pros at RFI Detectives. These are the folks who live and breathe this stuff, and they're pros at making it super clear and actionable for, regular business professionals like us. Okay, so you've put in the legwork. You used the tips from our last explainer, you sniffed out the sources of your Wi-Fi dropping, and all those weird glitches. So the huge question is, now what? What's the cure for all this invisible noise? Well, get ready for this, because this is the best part. The report makes it super clear that most of this office RFI stuff, it can be knocked way, way down with really simple, low-cost fixes. Seriously, you don't need a crazy budget or an engineering degree to see a massive improvement. And that brings us to a really core idea from the report. Fixing problems is great, but the absolute best strategy, it's prevention. If you can design or set up your office with RFI in mind from day one, you're going to save yourself so many headaches down the line. So let's start with what you can do right now. Think of this as your RFI first aid kit. These are the tools you can grab immediately to start quieting things down. And it really boils down to two things: shielding your gear and filtering out the noise. So the report breaks this down into 3 main tactics. First up, use shielded cables, especially for things like your monitors or audio equipment. That metal shield literally acts like armor, blocking noise from getting in or out. Super simple. Second, add some RFI filters to your power and data lines. And third, for your really sensitive equipment, think about using a power conditioner. It basically scrubs the electricity clean before it even gets to your device. Now, when we say RFI filter, you might be picturing something complicated, but check this out. I bet you've seen these little clunky cylinders on your laptop charger cable, right? Well, that's it. That's a ferrite choke. It's this super cheap clip-on gadget that you just snap around a cable, and it literally chokes out that annoying high-frequency noise. It's probably one of the easiest and most effective fixes in the entire playbook. Okay, so filters are great, but you want to know where a ton of RFI comes from? It's not from broken gear. It's from perfectly good equipment that's just, it's set up wrong. Getting the installation and configuration right from the get-go is a huge preventative win. Just think about your Wi-Fi for a second. The goal isn't to just blast the signal at full power. That's actually counterproductive. You want to provide great coverage using the least amount of power you need and on channels that don't overlap with your neighbors. It's kind of like finding an empty lane on the highway instead of getting stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic. The report also makes a big point about things like cell boosters. You have to register them and install them correctly. But really, the golden rule, just read the manual. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions. All right, so you've shielded your cables, you've configured your gear. Awesome. But how do you keep things running smoothly in the long run? Well, it really comes down to 2 things: good maintenance habits and smart placement. This is all about the long-term RFI health of your office. And we're talking about really simple, proactive habits here. Every once in a while, just check your cables for nicks or damage. Make sure the metal cases on your computers and stuff are closed up tight. A missing panel is like leaving a door wide open for RFI. And here's a big one that people forget: replace your power strips every few years, especially the cheap ones. Don't wait for them to die on you. Just simple, consistent maintenance. That's your best defense. Now, here is a golden rule of placement that every single office should follow. See, when you run a power cable and a data cable right next to each other, parallel for a long distance, the electrical noise from that power line can literally jump across and scramble the data. It's like they're bad influences on each other. But the solution is so simple. Just keep them separated. Whenever you can, give them their own paths. Don't let them run together. Okay. We've covered a ton of ground here, right? From tiny clip-on filters to the way you lay out your whole office. So let's pull it all together into a really clear, simple action plan you can use anytime you think RFI might be messing with your day. The report boils it all down to this beautiful 4-step strategy. Step 1, understand the symptoms and what they're costing you. Step 2, identify the sources, play detective like we talked about. Step 3 is what we covered today. Mitigate the problem with all these simple, powerful fixes. And finally, step 4, know when to escalate. Know when it's time to call in a pro. And really, if you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, let it be this. This quote from the report says it all. The key takeaway is that you have the power to fix this. You don't need to be some radio engineer or a technical genius. Just being observant, being consistent, that alone can solve most of these problems. It's really empowering. And of course, we have to give credit where it's due. All of this fantastic, super actionable advice comes straight from that comprehensive report by RFI Detectives. If you want to go even deeper, I absolutely recommend you check out their full publication. It's great stuff. So that leaves us with one final question for you to chew on. Just take a look around your own workspace right now. Which one of these simple fixes, maybe it's a shielded cable, a little ferrite choke, or heck, just moving some cords around, which one could you do right now to make your office a little quieter and a whole lot more productive? Maybe even by tomorrow?